we're going to kick it off with Guardians of the Galaxy. So far, this game is here, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It is created by Eidos Montreal, formerly the creators of the Deus Ex franchise, like Human Revolution and a couple other games.
Kind of weird.
Very weird studio selection. It's a new story in the Guardians of the Galaxy world. Jason, you've been playing this game.
Yeah.
How far are you in it? What chapter are you on?
I just started chapter 8.
Okay.
Chapter 7 took the longest time. It's broken up into 16 different chapters. Am I right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think you told me that last time. But the storyline's phenomenal. The effects and all that, the graphics are outstanding. My only biggest complaint is a little bit of the gameplay. With dealing with the other Guardians, I kind of forget about them almost. And like going through their button schematic to make them do a command is kind of annoying and kind of tedious. I kind of wish it was a quick action button. Instead, what I have to do is hit L1, hold L1, and then it gives you a selection of all 3 of the Guardians and yourself, and you have to hit another button, which pulls up another menu, and then you have to hit another button to make them do a certain action, depending on how you upgrade them.
That's too many buttons.
But, well, here's the thing. Whenever you do that, it slows down time. Time is slowed down, or I think time actually stops. Or no, it slows down.
Just slows down.
Slows down. It gives you enough reaction time to do it, and there's repercussions for certain things that happens. So like one of you guys can go down, so you don't have them, so it kind of helps out. But once you figure out the flow, I'm still figuring out that flow, and then the dodging I just unlocked where if you dodge, it slows down time as well, which is very useful. I should have upgraded that first. I did not. I made a mistake, but now I have it, and now I feel like a god. The music in it, hands down, is phenomenal. Flying through your spaceship, which I've only done once throughout the 8 chapters that I'm in, was hands down outstanding. And the banter back and forth between, right now, mostly all the Guardians against Peter Quill in certain situations. You can feel that interaction. You can feel those emotions that are going on. And I really enjoyed the storyline. That's the biggest part of it, is just the storylines there, and the decisions you make will affect the game further along in the story. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I think I'm really there just for the story. The gameplay is kind of not, I don't want to say clunky, but kind of stiff. It's not as smooth, and I like to compare it to Ratchet and Clank. I feel like the gameplay's like that, but with Mass Effect thrown into it. Oh. And that's what it feels like. If you combine those 2 games, that's what you have in this game, and it's
accurate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, because you have the I mean, how would you describe 3D platformer, I guess, of Ratchet and Clank, where you have tighter corridors where it sometimes will open up, but mostly it's like you're following a linear path, or kind of like Borderlands does a similar thing where it's like you're going down like kind of defined pathways and stuff like that. But then the Mass Effect part is definitely in like the choice-driven narrative, and also the command controls where you can command your stuff. But it's more complex here in how you command these heroes that you're working with, because of the fact that not only do you have 3 characters that you're working with, but each of the 3 characters can have up to 4 different powers or moves that you can activate that has a cooldown. And I believe it's like there's once you use a power for a character, it's a cooldown for everything, right?
Everything is a cooldown.
It's not just a cooldown for each one, right? Yeah.
And the cooldown goes by quick. And, also, with the Mass Effect thing, you can't fuck everyone, so don't expect that you're going to go there and fuck Rocket or Groot. Splinters everywhere.
I like how you chose the 2 characters that you likely may or like Groot. Like, who's going to fuck Groot? No, freaking Gamora, man. That's my girl.
Groot's going to fuck you.
Oh, I kept saying 3. It's 4 characters. 4 characters, right?
4 characters? Yeah. What do you mean 4?
We have 4 characters you play with, because you have Rocket, Groot, Drax, and Gamora. So you have 4 characters you control.
Oh yeah, 4. My bad. So, I keep thinking there's 3, but yeah,
5 people in the Guardians, or the Gardeners of the Galaxy.
But yeah, Gardeners of the Galaxy.
And they all play with you with every level.
Yep.
So, in certain levels, it depends on the story, what's happening, or what choices you make. Because a lot of people probably seen the gameplay where you decide either Groot's going to be the monster that they turn into the lady, or Rocket will be. And we saw the gameplay, a little bit of that decision, and that will kind of affect what happens with the storyline. How far, we don't know, because Brett and I chose the same bullshit.
Chase the exact same thing. Yeah.
So this is there is most definitely a chance to replay this game and get a different outcome or different decisions. And also it has that, I don't know how far it goes into the game yet, but a lot of the decisions you make, your team will judge you on. Just like with the Telltale series, where it will say like, oh, the team will remember this, or Rocket will remember this, or Gamora will remember this. It's very, but like I said, I don't know how far it goes into that, because I'm only on chapter 8. I know one of the decisions I made very early on in the game affected all the way up to chapter 8. And it helped me do something more. And I was just like, oh, that's outstanding. I'm glad I went that route, but I'm curious what would happen if I didn't. So I'm excited to replay this game. So
yeah. I'm on chapter 5 is where I'm sitting at right now, and I'm pleasantly surprised by this game. Like I you've heard me talk about how like I thought the UI looked like too busy, and I thought the controls would be too clunky for the characters and all that stuff. Having jumped into it and actually have played it, like it's way better than I thought it was going to be. Like all the text flying up on the screen is not as distracting as I initially thought it would be. That only happens at certain moments. And then the controls, like you said, is kind of complicated, but I'm starting to get a rhythm of how to do it. Cause it's like, if you're just shooting as Star-Lord and like that's all you're doing, like you're going to get your butt kicked. Yeah. But if you are using those powers and chaining them together, because like Groot, for example, Groot has this ability you first unlock that basically if you target an enemy, it'll like unleash roots that'll grab onto somebody and stun them basically for a period of time. And then you can send in Gamora, who does a slashing attack that does like half damage to a general character. And then you can send in Drax in there who will do something else. And then Rocket has a lot of really cool powers that are like grenade area of effect kind of attacks. So those will have a lot of like huge damage things that they do to like a whole bunch of people in the region. And one of the things that they did for the game that I thought was really smart is that to allow you to then send those commands out, you have abilities of yourself. And one of the first abilities you get is just to rocket boost yourself up to float around the map for like probably 20 seconds or something like that, 15, 20 seconds. And then you can like go up and you're not getting attacked on the ground so much. And you can then give out your orders to all your guys and then come back down to your fighting. Because Star-Lord actually has a pretty decent combat system where like he can go around melee, he can like kick things and hit things and whatnot. But he's got his 2 guns that shoot out that has like a cooldown. So after you shoot it up, you overheat. It like has one of those bars that comes back, and you have to like press it the exact moment. So like recharging it like a second shot, follow up shot.
A good shotgun effect once you recharge it. You're fully recharged and you're shooting again. Yeah. So that took me a while to get used to.
Right.
I was a little confused.
Well, because there's so much going on too. Yeah. So it's like kind of hard to pay attention to like that, plus like issuing your commands and everything. And then later on you get elemental effects for your gun, which I've only unlocked the ice part for so far. But not only does it help you in fighting certain types of enemies, but it helps you solving puzzles in the game as well, which I thought was really, really neat. So like there's parts where like there's waterfalls coming down from somewhere, and you can like freeze those waterfalls to make them platforms to get up to a place you otherwise couldn't get to. So there's a nice mix of like combat scenarios, puzzle scenarios, which most of the puzzles are pretty basic, but they're an interesting change of pace, and a lot of cutscenes.
And the puzzles also extend out to your guardians as well. You can command them to do certain things or certain tasks they're really good at. So like Drax can pick up heavy objects. Groot makes bridges so far, and he does something else, but I don't want to get into it because it's part of the story. And then Rocket can hack things, and then Gamora can climb things that help you get a boost up to somewhere else. So they all have, it's almost like a Lego game where you have little puzzles like this that seem pretty simple, but if you're not exploring the whole world that's so linear, like God of War, you'll miss out on little items here or there, and you got to pick them up. Mostly cosmetic stuff that I found and upgrade material.
Yeah.
So
I will say I found a bug. I got the first costume for Groot, and when I enabled his costume, which looked really cool, he never spoke. His dialogue lines wouldn't work at that point.
Why are you missing out on the dial? It's just I am Groot the whole fucking time.
I know, but I want to hear when he says that stuff. Okay,
I am Groot. That's it.
It's important. Okay, I'm learning how to speak Groot. All right, it's coming. I'm trying to be like Rocket. Yeah, like I mean, I think the obviously the biggest thing here is definitely like the story, and the story is, I'm shocked. Like I'm loving it. It's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a lot of dialogue. Like there is no break in conversation. Like you're walking from point A to point B and they're freaking having banter back and forth.
Yeah,
if you take too long, they're like, bro, why aren't you coming over here?
That part kind of annoys me a little bit
really?
because I enjoy the dialogue and back and forth, but I want to keep pressing and moving. And as soon as you go into like a cinematic, it cuts off. I'm like, I want to finish listening to that dialogue. Or if you're trying to, so this part really fucking annoys me because I want to punch the screen, is whenever I just walk into the area and the motherfuckers are already bitching at me, hey, what are we doing next? Hey, come on, use your visor. I was just like, give me a fucking chance. Come on. Why isn't there a button for me to make a quick decision? Be like, hey, chill the fuck out. Let me handle it. Because you'll have, in those dialogue moments, you'll have Peter Quill's face pop up and you can respond real quickly to like whatever they're talking about. If it's about you or about something else, you can either reassure the team or agree with the one side person on the team. It's very unique in that way. And I really enjoyed the banter back and forth and the dialogue, but I wish it will let me listen to the whole thing before I fucking walk into somewhere or something. So
that would be nice.
Or stop bitching at me for doing my job.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. I'm just got in this room and you guys are already screaming at me. So
yeah, that's true.
Hilarious.
That's true.
Is that
No, I that was one part that it does kind of bother because the one thing I was going to say is there's so much dialogue that there's almost at times too much because of the fact that things will overlap. Where if you're wanting to move quickly from point A to point B, like you're listening to them talk and they always say something interesting.
Yeah.
But it can get cut off and get stopped early. But I mean, I'm just amazed at how much voice acting there is in this game and how well it just hits. Like there's really funny bits in here. Like there's some moments where it can be stupid and silly and stuff like that, but it's definitely got the Guardians vibe through and through. And like you said, the music is awesome. And there's even like a jukebox in your ship that you can go to and like change the songs to whatever you want that plays on in the ship and stuff.
Which they're actually coming out with their own soundtrack from Star-Lord.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're releasing the actual album and stuff from it.
That's pretty cool.
The fake person Star-Lord. Peter Quill's listened to.
So before you're like, a lot of places are giving it good reviews, and then you kind of guys set me up to be like, it's good, but it's not like amazing. And now you're talking about stuff, and it sounds great.
I talked to Brett about this. There's bad things about the game, but the sequel's going to be outstanding. Like they laid this foundation work down very well, but the sequel, whenever they come out with the Guardians 2, it's going to be phenomenal. And I can see that happening with this game. It's just one of those games that this is just a good stepping stone right now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the way he mentioned like it's like Mass Effect. It's like Mass Effect in the progression of the games too. Because remember when Mass Effect 1 came out, it was really well received, but when Mass Effect 2 came out, you look back at 1 and you're like, everything was so broken. And this is exactly like Mass Effect 1, where it's more linearly pathed. It's got all the groundwork is there. But I definitely think, because I think like there's a lot of work that could be done to the gameplay. Like it's not like mind-blowing gameplay. Like I don't always enjoy sitting there shooting at these bad guys. And the enemy variety and stuff like that is interesting, but they're weird. I mean, like little jello things that come out at you and stuff like that. There's just a bunch of weird, strange characters.
Hentai motherfucker I dropped in and I was like, God, I don't want to play this anymore. And I just killed it real quick. I was just like, no, not this anymore.
But there's this story. I mean, it's a story game, and it's great.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
it's really, really good so far. I'm very excited to see it to the end. The graphics are incredible. I mean, obviously on PS5, it's like silky smooth.
So beautiful.
It looks amazing. There's a slight upgrade system. So there's like definitely like run around. I mean, there's not much to search off the beaten path, but definitely go around the beaten path because you'll pick up these fragments everywhere, and that's your currency to use to upgrade
your guns and yourself,
your suits and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I recommend. I think anybody that if you like Marvel, like this is a no-brainer to get because it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, it's like having a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, kind of. Not exactly that, but I mean, it definitely has
storyline's a little
the fun
different,
vibe of it.
It's
for
fun,
sure.
Yeah.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy, y'all, go get it. It's exciting.